Media, a global voice for humanity.
9:55 exactly, and let me quote Nelson Mandela's much quoted sentiment that South African freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinians, unquote. And here we are in South Africa, the current Miss South Africa. As we speak, I'm not sure if a decision has been made, but over the weekend it seemed as if she was still going ahead, or the organizers of the pageant were still going to go ahead and send the current Miss South Africa to participate in the Miss Universe competition in Israel. Bram Hanekom from Africa for Palestine is on the line, and he's going to tell us about this issue, how strongly they and all of South Africans should feel about it. Good morning, welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning, and thanks for having me.
Okay, Bram, has the situation changed since the weekend about Miss South Africa going to Israel?
Well, we're obviously thrilled by the development of Minister Nathi Tetwa, and on behalf of government coming out very, very clearly and saying that, look, if she goes, she's not going without support of the country. She's going without the support of the country. So besides the question of, if you go and the government are saying you don't represent our views and you shouldn't be going, and if the vast majority of people living in South Africa are disgraced by your attendance, not proud of your attendance, why would you proceed, and who are you representing? And I think it's a big development, because it would be absolutely catastrophic. It has been catastrophic, and it may well be the end of the Miss South Africa trademark for them to have already taken this posture.
Okay, so up to this point in time, we haven't heard about latest developments. Have we heard from her directly? I'm just wondering, contractually, she's not allowed to speak to the press or the media about such sensitive issues or controversial issues, so to speak.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's very clear that there's a bit of gatekeeping. The organizers of Miss South Africa might want to claim that they are protecting her and so on, but protecting her from what? From public opinion. I mean, if she is, I think that she is being totally taken advantage of by Ms. Stephanie Well, the CEO and owner of 9 Squared, the company that owns the trademark of Miss South Africa. She is being treated like a mere employee or spokesperson of Miss South Africa. And worse still, Lalela is not being given the opportunity or afforded space to speak for herself. It's as if they don't trust her to say what they want her to say. We had in the past, not long ago, heard that they would be withdrawing reliably from people who are quite close to these discussions. And then we see that they backtracked. And it's clear to us that Miss South Africa, the pageant, and Miss South Africa, the trademark and company owned by Miss Stephanie Well, is actually more of a Jewish Board of Deputies, Israeli embassy in South Africa than it is a representative of the South African people.
Have you tried engaging with 9 Squared, or possibly, obviously you can't engage with Miss South Africa because she's going to respond by saying that she's bound by her contract. She's not allowed to speak to the media. But has Africa for Palestine tried to engage with 9 Squared?
Look, we went to their offices. There was a protest there on Friday, and we've got a very, very big protest planned on Friday. Well, let me not say very, very big, but we expect at least a couple of hundred people to attend, which is pretty big for a private company to be receiving outside their offices as a protest against what they're doing. But there's no point in engaging those who are completely blinded by prejudice. Miss South Africa Lalela herself is not only a victim in this situation. She's gotten 4 million rands worth of prizes for being Miss South African, so she can't be totally broke. She's also a graduate of law, so she can't be stupid. the Miss South Africa franchise owned by Stephanie Well can't be stupid either. They know that they've had this, that Miss South Africa has a horrific and disgusting history of apartheid. Miss South Africa used to compete in global pageants like Miss World, only representing white women, and it was so bad that they even arranged for a Miss Africa South to represent black women.
I remember that. Yes, I remember
You know?
running parallel to the Miss South Africa.
Yeah. So now, if you're from that background, how dare you go to Apartheid Israel, and how dare you pretend that we need to try convince you and explain why it's important for you to withdraw? Anybody with even a 300 Rand phone should have access to some level of communication and information. And these are people with offices and a lot of money. Mr. Stephanie Well and 9 Squared is clearly a company that supports Apartheid Israel. Clearly a company that is trying to use black South African women to go and whitewash and to cleanse or misrepresent what is happening in Apartheid Israel. And I think it's really, really disgusting. And I think this is going to lead to their downfall.
Bram, my final question to you. Let's assume Stephanie Well and 9 Squared don't change their mind and they send Miss South Africa nevertheless. How do you believe we South Africans are going to react to that? And when she comes back, how much harm is it going to do to her image and her future as an ordinary South African? Never mind that she'll have 4 million rands in prizes. That's attractive to anybody for that matter. But let's just look at that scenario.
Well, if they do proceed to attend, they do so without the support of the government, without the support of the biggest trade union confederation on the continent. They do it without the support of the African National Congress, the majority voted party in the country, without the support of the EFF, without the support of Al Jama, without the
And
support
what does
of the
that mean
SACP.
for them without that support? It's not monetary support, is it?
It means that they have no right to fundraise and get sponsorship on behalf of Miss South Africa. Even the brand name is inappropriate considering the fact that they are not representing us. Miss South Africa would be going as a spokesperson of Stephanie Wells if she proceeds.
Okay, so she won't go as she can't use the name Miss South Africa, so to speak.
No, they own the brand. They bought the trademark. So they, like Coca-Cola, they bought and they own the trademark. So they may use the brand, but the world already knows when our government says that they withdraw and support, the world knows that she's not going there to represent the country. And if she does, there's no point in us picking on Lalela. She's Miss South Africa for 1 year. It's the same that you don't focus on one coach of the Stormers or the Proteas or the Springboks for a very bad or racist decision. You'd focus on the institution. So when Ms. Stephanie Well comes back, I think we're likely to protest and possibly even be rather creative in our intervention around their future pageants. We will contact all their sponsors, calling for their withdrawal. City of Cape Town, by the way, is one of the sponsors for Miss South Africa pageant and trademark. So we'll definitely be engaging all these sponsors, brand South Africa as well. We expect for them to withdraw their sponsorship and funding. And it's the demise of the company because they chose to be supporting a racist and apartheid regime.
Okay, and that's where we leave it. We will be watching these very interesting developments. Thank you indeed for your time. Go well and have a great day.
Thanks for having me. Thank you so much.
10:04, we've run a bit over time. Difficult to kind of chop the person off in mid-sentence, but very, very interesting discussions this morning. And let me wrap up by thanking our producers for their support and also lots of food for thought for me and for you, our esteemed listeners, regarding the interview with Tsepo Khadima. He's really unpacked and uncovered a lot of issues there. So we tend to be guilty of taking things at face value. And when you go to the backstory, you realize that there is so much more politically and otherwise involved in an entity such as Eskom. So, rather than throwing stones and just making rash remarks around the issues of leadership and the companies, being able to supply and take us out of the crisis, there's so much more that needs to be unpacked. Undoubtedly, Inayat Wadi will take this story much, much further. News and Views doesn't have the time to unpack, but we will ask Inayat to follow through. But thank you for listening to us this morning. Till tomorrow morning at the same time. Guys, another big story is COVID is rearing its ugly head in Europe, which means that perhaps the coming winter, we are not going to be spared either. It also means that we need to continue our COVID protocols, mask up, social distance, and, washing hands regularly. Please, 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 let's not become complacent. Till tomorrow, go well, take care on the roads. Assalamu alaikum and Khuda Hafiz from me, Julie Ali.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries.